Ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, proudly presents to you a new series called Lariats and Legacies. That's right. I know what you're probably thinking, Remy. You're at it again. First, you had the regular episodes, then you have 50 minutes, which is for the fans. Now you have a new one. What is this about? Patience is the virtue. I'll get to it. This series is actually dedicated to the family, relatives, loved ones of those wrestlers who have passed on and gave us many great memories and matches. So with that being said, of course, you all know who I am. You know, I'm pretty much, I'll just do it anyways, just for the new series. That ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive. Life is great. Repping 592, living in the 718, no cap, straight facts. The worldwide starboy, Remy Boo, and the young lady who is actually right next to me. Well, not next to me physically, but next to me on screen. I dub her the bad woman, but she is the daughter of WWE superstar, WWE legend, my opinion, even though he's not in the Legends Hall of Fame yet. Why, I don't know. Hunter, Vince, make it happen. Everybody, welcome to the show, Francis Coage. Francis, how you doing tonight, miss?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, great. I gotta say, thank you very much, for doing this for us. We really and truly appreciate it. I wish my two other co-hosts could have been here, but unfortunately, they have other pressing matters that they have to deal with. So I guess I'm doing this one solo. But how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Just that's a little hot here.
Oh, Canada?
Yeah, it's like 30 degrees today. I don't know, understand why.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to live in I actually used to live in Toronto for a bit, and I had a lot of great memories. This was like many, many years ago.
Mm.
Let's just say, you already know my age, anyways. This was like back in '99, and I had a lot of great memories there, a lot of good times, and I went back in '97. Didn't want to leave. I definitely love Canada. People, to me, I'm not just saying this because you're Canadian and you're on the show, but I
No,
really
you're cute.
Canada. Like, I would definitely take a trip to Toronto or Montreal. It's great over there.
Yeah, Toronto's nice. I'm in Calgary, so Calgary's not that fun, but I mean, it has its perks.
Yeah, but you guys have the richness, though, man. You got Stampede, man.
Yeah,
Like,
true. But when you live here all your life, you're like, woohoo, Stampede. Yeah. It's nice though.
yeah. So I gotta say, your father, the late great Bad News Brown was one of the best I
Mm.
do it. That Enziguri that he would do the ghetto blaster, man, that's a joke, man. Your dad used to scare me sometimes too, because I used to see the brother come out. He used to have that beard look, and he had the beard and everything. I used to, I'm like, hell, I would not want no smoke with that. That used to scare me sometimes.
Try
And
being his daughter. Try being
we're
his
gonna
daughter.
we're gonna get to that, man. But yeah,
Well,
but
I'm
then
glad he got you because that was his goal, right?
yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't boom. I was just scared of him and Earthquake. I was like, nah, not those two guys, man.
They're big.
Anybody else, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, I was cool with. But for some reason, those two, they just had me shook. I'm like, yeah.
Because those were pretty boys, and the other two were straight up gangsters.
I I heard Rude was a bit dangerous. Although Rude was a pretty boy, Rude could be a bit, dangerous back in the day.
Mm-hmm. He was
Rude,
cool though. He's really cool. I met him once.
when people talked about legends back then, like legit tough guys, you had
Mm.
the names I would hear: Haku,
Mm.
Everybody knows Haku was that guy. Like he shook fear. I guy, but did not like once you pissed him off. Woo! Yeah, sorry for you. And of course, there was your dad, Bad News Brown,
Mhm.
and then of course there
Yeah,
was Rick Rude. And everybody,
recruit.
you know,
He was cool. He was
yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
So tell us, man, what was it like growing up? The daughter of a WWE superstar. A man that was seen by millions across the world, who actually wrestled on WrestleMania 5 and I believe WrestleMania 6.
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, uh-huh.
Yeah, quite a few actually that I don't even remember because I was like, it was so many, so quick.
Yeah.
So it was hmm?
Yeah, what was it like growing up, the daughter of Bad News Brown?
Like when I first realized he was like completely famous and I was just in awe and oohing. It was fun. It was a fun ride. We got to do a lot of really cool stuff, like go backstage and hang out with all the kids and run around all the wrestlers and it was like it was crazy. Like, can you imagine? I'm 7, 8 years old when we first started, and he was just everywhere, and it was fun. Like, you go to wrestling and you were spoiled and you met everybody, and I just regret not getting pictures because like I was young, so I was scared of everybody. I wouldn't go near them.
Yeah, those guys,
So,
they were like larger than life, man. Like
yeah,
even
I
the less.
remember. Oh,
I'm sorry.
sorry, go ahead. I met Zeus once.
Oh,
And
really?
I was like little. I think I was maybe 13. And that was when the whole No Holds Barred, and I seen the movie, and then we went to wrestling, and he was there, and he was in those high boots, and he was standing with his arms crossed, and his eyes kind of messed up. So my dad was walking us towards him, and I was like, no, no, I don't want to go there. But then he like crouched down. He's like, "How you doing, sweetie?" He was so sweet, but he's scary.
Yeah, I heard Zeus was pretty
Scary.
pretty cool. A lot of those guys I heard were pretty cool outside of
Yeah.
the ring and whatnot. And inside they were a different character, and it took me years to actually like realize that like a lot of them were like pretty chill. At least to me,
Hmm.
I normally go up. I don't normally when I see a wrestler, I go up to them. I give them a handshake. I tell them, I'm not one. I'm one of those fans that I keep it short. I'm like, hey, keep up the great work, thank you, and then I keep moving and what.
For
That's,
sure.
but yeah, I remember that I listened to a couple of your dad's um shoot interviews that he did, and I
Hmm.
remember that one that he said was, I'm not gonna say what it is. I don't want to bring up any bad memories, but one time he challenged Andre the Giant outside, and on Andre didn't want no smoke with him.
No.
And Andre back then was like a guy that you didn't mess with either. And then for those of you that I'm not for those of you wondering, I'm not gonna say it. If you want, I think it's Feinstein. You could check it out. But
Oh,
he's
you don't want to say it? You
you
want to
could.
talk about it?
I don't want to offend it. I'm very careful what I quote
Offend
these.
who?
Just you really
No,
want me to touch on it?
go ahead. It's a big issue, and it's like everywhere. I mean, everybody asks me questions about this every day. So let's just put it out there and be done.
From what I heard, and your father said it himself.
Hmm.
Was saying the N word, without caring who was there.
Hmm.
Your dad has said apparently he was like taking a nap in front of the bus, and he
Yeah.
opened one eye and he was like, and then Andre was saying the N word again, and he was like, hey Andre, can you mind not saying that? And I guess Andre was, feeling himself, and he said something back to Bad News Brown to your dad, and he
Told him to
was,
shut up, I think, or to
yeah,
yeah, something to that effect. Or
and then
yeah.
he got out of the bus. He's like, hey, come out here and say that, man. Come out here and say that.
You know
He
what
was,
happened? Did you hear? Like, I don't know if you got like that. I don't know if that story's on the shoot, but actually he went to take out my dad had like he had 4 earrings, right? 2 in each ear. So he bent down to take his earrings out and put them in his bag because he never fought with his jewelry. And Hogan thought my dad was getting a gun. So Hogan was like freaking out, telling Andre to shut up. And he's like, I swear to God, Alan, I thought you were going to pull a gun and shoot him right on the bus. Hogan was shitting his pants in the back of the bus. But my dad obviously wasn't. He's just going to punch him in the face. But then again, Andre's a chicken. So
I could
that word
imagine.
is that, that word in our family is like a absolute no. My dad hated hearing it. He didn't like music that said it in it. He didn't like it wasn't a part of our life. Like he was very adamant about that word, and how people use it is so stupid, quoting him, because it's a word that somebody gave, a slave. So it was offensive to him always. And no matter how, oh, it's because I'm, black, I can use it. He never believed in that. He never believed in it. He thought it was the most disgusting word that you could ever utter. So if you said that, then it was on.
I can
Yeah.
imagine going, "Hey, brother, no, you got to no, just tell her you're sorry, man. I mean, what are you gonna do if he gets a
Yeah,
gun?"
he was so scared because he knows my dad is crazy, right? He worked with my dad a lot, so they got close.
Jeez, I tell you. But yeah, that
No.
word, I'm Guyanese, which is a country. I don't know if you've ever heard of country South America, right above Brazil. And I always call us
Mm,
stepchild because we are a South American country where we have a West Indian culture, same as
mm.
Jamaica and many of the other islands. And that word, we actually, some of them, I mean, not me particularly, but people say it, but it's like, it's not like, as much. It's not like you might hear them say it like once, but it's really really we say that. We in Ghana, we have a whole other bunch of words, ways to
Yeah.
tell people off and whatnot. And yeah,
Yeah, he didn't like it. He didn't like honoring a word or putting a word in a song that was derogatory and disgusting and pinned against people because other people are stupid. So sorry. Yeah.
that's understandable. So your father was also a judoka. I believe he was a bronze medalist,
Yeah.
Olympic bronze medalist. So he was like, legit like badass in the ring. He could definitely fight in real life. Did he ever
Mhm.
teach you in the dojo, teach you some moves as well too, some judo and whatnot?
Well, Wide used to when I was little, like he'd work out at home, and mostly at home he would do judo workouts, right? Because he really didn't have a big gym. He had like some weights and stuff, but he wasn't home a lot, so he didn't feel the need to like stock the house up with a bunch of equipment. So he did his like judo exercises, which I watched and I'm like, I don't know how you could do that. I tried to do it once and I was like, no. No, Nasa. I couldn't do it. So yeah, he worked out hard though. He worked out 7 days a week. When he was off the road, he was always doing his judo exercise in the basement. That's how he kept in such good shape, I think. So he
Wow.
never really taught us a lot. He taught us how to defend ourselves. He didn't want us to do judo because of the hump it gives you in your back when you're a woman because of the stance you have. He didn't want that. But one of his daughters is actually in the Olympics for judo.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, she did. She went into judo and I think she was in the minor some kind of Olympics. I don't really keep in touch with her that much, kind of distant, but yeah, she's in the Olympics. So she carried that on for him, which is great.
That's cool. For some reason, speaking of that, I before I got you on the show, I had a vision of you actually hitting somebody with that buster. Like, did you ever think about getting in professional wrestling yourself, or were you like, nah, I'll just stay here and be a fan and just be
I
supportive?
watched I watched him suffer like knees and back and bruises and cuts, and he hated it. He honestly he loved being a showman and he loved going into the ring and he loved getting the audience up, but it's really hard on your body and it really like after so many years of judo and then going and you've seen him some of the pictures that I see him flying off the top ropes, I'm like, how did you do that? You're 260 pounds. Like, how did you manage to jump that high in the air and land not killing somebody? So yeah, no, it was never for me. No, 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 no.
Yeah, I've seen the rigors it's taken on certain people's bodies, and I'm like, I'll
It
always
does.
love, but I'll never be a wrestler. I might be a ring announcer, but I'm not gonna be no.
That's a
I'm
cool
not.
job. Wrestling really, it really does. Like most of the old guys that I know that used to work with him, they're all like knee operations, hip replacements. My dad had two hip replacements, two knee operations. He went through a lot of it. Cardiomyopathy because of when you're in sports and you're working out all the time and his heart enlarged. So it wasn't worth it for me. I'll just stick to other stuff.
So you so your dad.
Y'all, hmm? Go ahead.
I was gonna say
I
your dad was, but what was it like in Stampede? Like going to the Stampede shows and seeing him perform with many future legends like Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart, the British Bulldogs, other members of the Hart family. What, any fond
it
memories you have of that?
the first time I went, I cried because somebody was hitting him and I was very offended. So my mom had to actually pull me into the bathroom and explain to me that it's just his job and it's fake and blah blah blah. But he made it look really real because Stampede was like they were crazy, throwing chairs and hitting each other with tables. And my dad stabbed somebody with a fork once, I think. And
Ooh.
Abdullah used to be bleeding all the time. And I remember Jason and him, like, we had a lot of fun. Like, when we knew it was Stampede, me and my sister were like right in there, all dressed up, ready to go, all happy. And we got to go to Calgary show and we got to go to Edmonton show because he would drive from Calgary to Edmonton. Because, Friday nights was Calgary and then Edmonton was Saturday. So it was fun. My whole family would come, like my grandpa, like everybody, my aunts, and we're all just like it was great. It was a great time. It was really fun. It was cool meeting everybody too, but I mean like I was young, so I'm like, ooh. When I look back at Brett when he was younger, I'm like, damn, I don't even recognize you if I didn't know you. Because he's so different now than he was when he was a kid. He was like 18, I think.
Who, Bret Hart?
Brett was, yeah, when my dad started wrestling with him. He was like 18. So Brett was like a teenager, and I was like, dude, look at all the cute boys.
So
Yeah,
wait,
he's
what
not
about
that cute now.
what about Owen? Did you ever get to meet Owen as well? Because Owen was
Yeah,
like young. He was like,
Owen was young too. They were all pretty young. I met Chris Benoit. Like my dad was really fond of him. They had like a really good relationship. And Owen was really close to my dad. And then we had Jerry Morrow, Champagne Jerry Morrow. I know you remember him, right? From way back. Gamma and Cuban Assassin. My mom and dad's wedding, I swear to God, every single wrestler you could possibly imagine, like all of them from Stampede Wrestling, were in my house. Like they
wow,
had like a small house wedding, and we had like I think I can't remember his name. He was the Japanese wrestler that was there. Oh my, I can never pronounce his name. He was pushing me on the swings in the park.
Tatsumi Fujinami, or is it?
I think yeah. Well, the other one.
Or
Do you know
the
the other
only two
one?
I would know from back then would be Tatsumi Fujinami, or there's another guy called Genichiro Tenryu.
I think
Those
it
are
was
the
the
only.
first one. I think it was the first one. He was pushing us on the swings, me and my sister in the park. So can you
Okay.
imagine all of those guys running around like it was crazy. It was fun. It was fun. I'm trying to get my mom to find some pictures of her of all the guests at the wedding because wow, it's like it's like the whole Stampede Wrestling was in the house. So it was cool. It was really, really cool.
Stampede Wrestling was definitely something I would have loved to grow up in Canada at that time because so many great
Yeah.
and even the hard Dutch. That's one thing people could never have an opinion about. Like people say, "Oh, the hard dungeon was bad." I'm like, I would tell a wrestling fan, no, you could
No.
say whatever you want about whoever. You do not disrespect the hard dungeon. No, but I know
No.
you have your own opinion. It doesn't matter what your
Yeah,
opinion is. Hard dungeon
it
is a
doesn't.
You
That
don't.
that dungeon put out a lot of really, really good wrestlers. And Stu was a really good teacher. Like he was really down to earth and he was very like, the man had money, but he didn't act like a snotty, rich man. He was really, really like a really good guy. He was really, really fond of my dad. He loved him. My dad used to do this impression of Stu. I gotta see. I don't even know if he has it on the video on the shoot, but he used to do this impression of Stu all the time to us. Hey, hey, bad news. He used to do it all the time just to mock him, but he loved him. He really did. And that dungeon was good. Look at all the people it produced. Look at all the guys
Yeah.
that came out of there knowing their craft. Look at how Owen and Brett and Chris Benoit and all of them that came and wrestled around there. Look at them. Look how good they were. Flying all over the place. Like you can't find the way they were Dynamite too. The way they all were back then is not how they are now. Like they really wrestled. They put on a really good show. It wasn't all this soap opera drama in the middle of it. It was just let's punch you out, get the crowd going, and be happy.
Well, to me, that's mostly like on the indies. That's mostly like in the big leagues. Like, I mean, granted, WWE was different too, but like that's mostly like Impact and A. Well, not even Impact, not really Impact, but like AEW and WWE.
I don't
Because like,
even watch wrestling anymore, really. I watch the old stuff, and I stopped like when my dad quit. I'm sorry, but like I had no reason.
oh, okay. So yeah, I
We,
mean,
I used to watch it with him once in a while when we were home, like when he was home, and he would just shake his head and be like, "What is this? What is this
you
crap?"
know, it's a funny thing. I tend to shamelessly play armchair booker from time to time. If your dad, was still alive, was still around, and if I was in charge of creative and WWE, you know who I'd put him with? I'd put him with the New Day. And what I would do is and because I imagined your dad going into the locker room and seeing Biggie. I don't know. So the New Day I don't know if you know who they are, but like they're like they're like a stable of three black men, and
Mm.
they're like a fun, happy. They're all positive and whatnot. Whether they win or lose, they're always positive and so on. And I wouldn't say they do a lot of high flying as well too, but they have one guy who's like the muscle of the team and so on.
Mm.
What I could imagine is your dad going into the locker room after they actually lose a match, and then he's like, you know why you guys lost that match? Because you guys play too much. That's why you guys got to get down to business. What's your
Yeah.
orders for lunch? Tell you what,
Yeah.
tomorrow 9 o'clock, meet me at the dojo. I'm gonna show up. And the next thing you know, the day comes out. The next opponents they face, they start doing like a little bit of judo throws and whatnot. And then their opponents are caught off guard. Like, what happened to the high flying happy guys? Like, what's going on?
I want to see them. You should send me some of their clips.
Yeah, they're on YouTube.
Yeah. Are they on my page? I don't even know. I have so many people. I love to talk to everybody. It's just so like
Yeah,
hard.
when you say they're in WWE, actually, they are currently they actually, you remember, obviously, you remember Demolition, right? Axel Smash.
Hmm.
So they broke their record for holding the tag team titles 5-6 years ago. And
Hmm.
they actually, one of them, Kofi Kingston, he actually became the first African American WWE heavyweight champion. And then his tag team partner, Big E, who's the muscle, he followed suit too as well. And then Xavier Woods, the other one, who actually has who's actually has two PhDs from college. He actually was last year's King of the Ring. So they're on YouTube.
That's cool.
You'll see them.
Cool. I want to get my dad's like more involved in some of the like African American community. I know there's a lot of like for like achievements for, honoring African Americans. I did talk to somebody on Facebook. I think they have a group and they have what is it? Hall of Fame. But
Okay.
unfortunately, he told me to not ever message him again. So I don't know who can advocate for me. Maybe you.
I'll
But
tell
I
you.
would love to have my dad like more in the Black community and more present in the accomplishments because I think that he did a lot of door opening for a lot of people.
Actually, I know two people offhand, three people offhand that I could probably talk to. I'm just gonna name drop. There's one group called the Jobber Tears. They give back a lot to the wrestling community. They even hold wrestling watch parties for WWE and AEW. And then there's also
Mm.
the Black Wrestle Fest, which actually they celebrate African Americans or the Black community in professional wrestling. They actually had their inaugural event 2 months ago, which I went to. I enjoyed it a lot.
Nice.
I believe they're going to try to make it an annual thing. So those would be the best people to talk to in regards to getting recognition for your dad and so on. Because
I would love to even like, have something donated or like, send some autograph picture, do something. Like, just get people like aware that he should be honored. It's just I'm his daughter, so I always advocate for that.
no, here's the thing, and this is why I get upset with WWE because um, they put in all these new schools, but yet you have people like Butch Reed, who I'm sure you know of, you as well too. Butch Reed is not in the Hall of Fame, but Ron Simmons is, and Butch Reed is just as deserving. You got Zeus. Why is he not in the Hall of Fame? But yet you have all these main
Oh
celebrities
yeah.
out there.
Zeus. I don't know if Virgil is Virgil. Virgil should be. Virgil was the
Should
Virgil
be in
and
there
Cliff.
too.
Those two should be in it up front. They brought the show to the show, along with a lot of other people that I don't understand. Like I honestly at this point it's so many years, over what, 20 years?
Hmm.
He's been passed away for 15 and they never like acknowledged him. They try to pull videos of him down. They don't want to have him as in the WWE, but he was a huge part of it. He
I
wrestled
don't.
everybody, all of them. I'm like watching videos and I'm like, holy crap.
So,
Like he wrestled everybody. Vince just used him to like beat up everybody, all the good guys.
so I remembered one time I saw something on your Facebook page where they sent a royalty check to him. It was like only 1 penny.
Yeah.
And I heard the person said that your mom
Yeah,
wrote
I
back.
said it. Actually, I was on a podcast and I told them that. My mom got the check. I think it was like a year after he was done there. And it was for 1 cent. So she wrote fuck you on it and she sent it back to Vince.
Wow,
Yeah.
one
It
cent.
wasn't
That's
even worth the stamp or the paper. And just to shove it in his face. They never wanted him to have anything out. They didn't do t-shirts. They didn't do posters. They didn't do like, the foam dolls that they did for everybody else. Like Hogan had one. I remember Andre had one. They didn't do any of that for him. They promised him all kinds of stuff. And I know my dad's merch would have sold because
he
he
would.
was Brand News Brown. Like, who wouldn't? Look, we make our own. You see my
Hey,
t-shirt?
I'll buy one from y'all. I'll buy one.
This one my mom made quite a while ago, but we do have t-shirts on Fighters First. Have you guys seen that? Fighters
I
First shop?
I checked it out, but I didn't really get to like look into it more.
Yeah,
Uh,
they have some shirts on there, but I mean, I can hook you up. Family.
shit. Tell you what, I'll even send you a ringside sidey shirt. I mean,
Yes, definitely.
we started making our own t-shirts and so on. So I have one we're trying to release dedicated to the refs because apparently the referees don't get no love either.
No, they
Um
don't. Dave and Earl. Dave passed away. He's one of the referees.
so
Best friend of my dad.
we actually had his daughter Earl Davis.
Oh,
Katie was on our show like earlier this year. Um,
please send her a message and tell her that my father loved him like a brother. He
I
really
definitely
did.
I'll make sure to tell her. Yeah,
And
she's
I
a
was so sad when I saw my mom too. She's like, I can't believe that. And then I said, Mom, he's in heaven with dad. Maybe they're refereeing. He's refereeing me too. All
yeah.
the guys up there fighting. So that's cute. But yes, bless him. He was a really nice. They used to make fun of me when I was little. They're like, "Which one am I, Dave or Earl?" Because they would stand beside each other. They're like, "Which one am I? Which one am I?" Like they were amazing, amazing. They're amazing men, amazing men.
Yeah, I noticed like back you knew who the referees were, but now it's like you just see somebody in the. I mean, granted, now they have women referees. Um,
Mm. Do
I
they?
yes, yeah, they have a one. There's one girl that's black, another one that's white. I've actually
Oh,
I met the white girl before. Very cool
cool.
person. That's Jessica Carr, and she didn't even
Go
charge
girl.
photograph. And this was before she got like signed to WB, and I was very happy that she actually got the opportunity. And then there was another one by name
Mm.
there's another one by name of Aja Smith who um has who's working for them right now. And yeah, I know of those two, but the others, like I don't like if I don't go and do research, I don't know who they are. They don't mention them, which in it's
They
not like
really don't honor them at all. There should be like a referee hall of fame because there's so many good ones that have traveled with those guys all the years and did all that work, and it's not easy. It's a hard job. You're gonna slam yourself down on the ground too and get in between two guys and hold them back, and
so.
yeah, you deserve the honor.
When I started this podcast, I wanted to give the referees some shine because I wanted to give the wrestling fans, well, the listeners and the watchers, that is the wrestling fans, stories from all sides of professional wrestling, not just from the wrestlers
Hmm. Yeah.
and also the referees. And we've had a few referees on here, and they've given us some good pointers. And my own co-host, who unfortunately couldn't be here, Rob Bass, he's a referee now. So, um, yeah, it's. I think they should definitely. I mean, granted, AEW, which is the new promotion,
Mhm.
fairly promotion, they came out 3 years ago. They let us know who their referees are. But WB is like
Oh,
this person in the middle of the ring doing the three counts. I mean, unless
yeah,
they're
they should honor them for sure. They should honor a lot of people that they don't. Like I said, I don't want him in the WWE Hall of Fame anymore. I think that Vince can go fuck himself and his whole family too. I don't, my dad, like, if you haven't honored him by now, then you know what? He would be like, no, no. People should make their own Hall of Fame
well, here's
and put
my
the
thing.
people they wanted in it.
To me, the most prestigious Hall of Fame, and I tell wrestling fans we should definitely be giving this more awareness. And if they give us the offer, try to attend it. It's the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion, which is
I'd
I
love
believe in.
that.
And to me, that is like if you're a hardcore wrestling fan, that's where you need to be.
Yeah,
And
because that's where they all started. Like,
yeah, so I think to me that has a bit more. And this is not me knocking WB. I don't have nothing against them, although they have done some questionable things that they've done some things that I've questioned that I
like the
don't that.
blackface with Roddy Piper. Did you question that?
Yeah, and they did it again too in 1998 with the Rock with Triple H having the blackface too.
Did they again?
They did. You can look it up. You can look it up on YouTube. DX imitates the Nation. The Nation of Domination was actually led by Ron Sim. No, it was led by The Rock,
Hmm.
and Owen Hart was
Mm-hmm.
actually part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it was like two or three of them had like black face paint on. And me growing up in Guyana, I didn't know that blackface because we have a different culture. Like certain things that would offend, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we would know it's offensive. But we didn't know that blackface, or at least I didn't know that blackface at the time was offensive. And we in Ghana, we watched that. We were like, oh, these guys are clowning around again. We were just
Yana?
it up. But it wasn't until later on in life that I found out that it's actually offensive. I was
Oh
I know. And I was like, yeah, that's not cool. Like the whole Roddy Piper in a half black, the painting his body, like half his body in black, and then of course DX doing it again. Yeah, it wasn't cool to do that. I mean, the way they imitated the Nation was cool, but like just the whole image, yeah, that
yeah.
was. that was really cool.
They're
Yeah,
gonna,
but
I think my mom's gonna write my dad's real opinion down because before he passed, he did some tapes because I've encouraged him to put a book out, which sadly has been put off due to grief, but
uh,
she's on it again. So she's gonna have his opinion about that whole situation come out in the book.
whenever y'all release it, let me know, and I'll
For
Oh
sure.
wait, your dad was that opponent. I remember he was that opponent against. Oh gosh,
What?
I just remember your dad was Roddy Piper's opponent for that.
Yeah, Roddy was half black. Yeah,
Roddy,
that's my
Roddy,
dad.
Roddy is lucky he's still living.
I don't think my dad blamed Roddy that much, but I mean you'll have to stay tuned to the book because my mom won't even tell me his real opinion on that because she knows I have at least lived.
Well, I'll
Just keeping
tell
that
you what.
fun.
Whenever y'all definitely release that book, I'll definitely buy it.
Hopefully it should be after or before Christmas. His action figure is coming out too, so Christmas time, Zombie Seller's doing one for him. So that's supposed to be released during the holidays. So cool. I have
Matter
the
of fact,
book and a toy.
I might make that a part of our Christmas. So we do giveaways here too, so
Oh,
I
that's
might.
cool. I definitely would donate one or two for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I really enjoy. Like I said, I'll definitely let the Black Wrestle Fest know about y'all, about your dad, because like I said, he definitely honored, and if WWE's not gonna do it, then fine. To be honest, I'm not trying to bash him, but they've upset me with a couple of things. Like for example, Owen Hart. Like, okay, you had the blue,
Yeah.
didn't have to do the Blue Blazer gimmick again. If I was writing for Owen Hart would have been like something like Johnny from Karate Kid, because he
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
Owen, look at William Zappa who played Johnny Lawrence. You can't tell me they didn't look alike. They could
Oh
have.
no, totally. Whenever I see him, I think of Owen because I'm like, damn, they're close. They could have done so much better with that.
Could you imagine if they had said, "Oh, Blue Blazer, you're already dressed in black and yellow." Owen goes out to Triple H and said, "You know something? I'm gonna put you in a body bag tonight because I'm the Black Heart and I'm the sole survivor." Could you imagine saying something along those lines? He already
Yeah.
looks like that would have taken him to the top. And
Mm,
I mean, I'm not trying. I don't. I'm not. I try not to bring up grief too much on the show, but that when he passed away,
yeah. That
that
broke everybody's heart. It
that
really broke everybody's heart. He did not like that's no. No. And I don't think that I don't know. I just think that he was pushed to do something that he wasn't ready to do and it wasn't safe. And I mean, that's why I say these guys will go and do anything because they're told to, and they want the money and they don't want to be taken off the card because you get punished if you don't do what you're supposed to. So it's pressure. It's a lot of pressure that they're under, these guys. A lot of pressure.
that's just sad. Well, I don't know if you know, but Vince McMahon apparently retired from WWE. Triple
Yeah,
H.
after he raped a bunch of women. He's been doing that for years. Thank God somebody finally stood up. Yay, girls.
Yeah, that's
Guy is not nice. He's not a nice man. I compare him to Donald Trump.
that's just crazy that he would actually yeah, he did that. But you know,
Yeah.
um
I mean, karma, right? One day I knew it was going to come back and bite him. So I guess that this is the way. He
yeah.
can't stay in the WWF now. He should be in jail.
Well,
He honestly should be in jail. If
there's an
a
event.
black guy did that, if an African American guy did that, his ass would have been in jail a long time.
Yeah,
He'd have been
yeah.
stripped of everything, shamed, and put in jail.
Bill Cosby.
Thank you. They do
Bill,
it. And it's okay, but it's okay for white men to do it. It's okay for white men to get away with all the crap they get away with, but no, no, equal justice, please. Equal
yeah,
justice.
yeah. That was a bad thing that he did, and
Oh, it's horrible.
like it's
Horrible.
like my boss in the Navy used to tell me, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But hopefully, um, Triple H, who is now in charge of creative, I've heard that a lot of people like working with him. Hopefully things are better. He's saying that he's
Yeah,
gonna make.
I hope he takes care of the guys. I hope he treats them better than Vince did. I hope he actually like he's been there and down that road. He's been probably treated like crap by Vince too. So I hope he changes it and I hope he makes it better.
He suffered the brunt. So I don't know if you ever hear about the curtain call incident.
No, I don't think so.
There was an incident where I think it was Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon versus Triple H and Diesel or some
Mm,
bout. And kayfabe is like cannot break character. Back in the day, you couldn't break character. You're a bad guy.
mm,
Bad.
you're a bad guy for sure.
So what happened? Basically, long story short, was Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Diesel they all went into the ring in front of a live audience and hugged each other. But what happened was there was a fan that actually recorded the incident on a video camera. He snuck it into the building and recorded it.
Oh.
So I guess he posted it. Vince got wind of it. Shawn Michaels is the champion at the time, so you can't punish the world champion. That's your
No, of course
Razor,
not.
Razor Ramon and Diesel, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. They were leaving for WCW. So what are you gonna do? They're leaving. You can't do anything.
Mm, you're
Only
done.
one punished was Triple H. And what happened was he was supposed to win the Intercontinental title that same month. They put his push back until like Survivor Series. And I don't know what else they did, but he was the one that got the brunt of it. So I get,
It's it's just I don't know. Too much politics. It should just be fun, shouldn't it?
yeah,
Shouldn't it just be fun?
and that's what I wish. Well, that's what we all want. But
Hmm.
what are we gonna do? You
I
know.
like the small little organizations I see. They're really stepping it up and putting on really good shows. Like it reminds me of Stampede. And I like to see that.
So if I could
Get
recommend,
Mhm.
um, if I could recommend some, I know you're done with you. You don't watch WB, you don't watch AW, but I could say I can advocate that these are very great. Um, if you're interested, I would recommend Job. Was it not Jobber Tears? Battle Club. Battle
Mm.
Club. They're pretty good. There's also CCW. CCW in Delaware. They are awesome.
Oh,
Shout out to Mark.
you know that's where my dad's from, right? They originated from Delaware.
There you go. It's right in
Yeah,
your dad's place.
family. I
I
know.
would,
It's cool.
I would highly recommend you check them out. And then there's also
Mm.
Mission down in Texas as well. There are a lot of great promotions that you can check out. It's especially on the Fight TV network, which is basically like YouTube for wrestling. You can
Mm.
check it there and you see a lot of great moments. It's different from before. That's if you're interested. I know that you're like,
Oh no,
it's
I watch it now because I got so many fans and so many wrestlers on my page and I'm like getting back into it. I'm like so excited to see like good shows. Everybody's sending me tapes and stuff and I'm it's cool. It's really cool to see. Like I get a lot of, "Oh, look, I'm doing this in honor of your dad. I'm trying to take his character and make it mine." And I'm like, "Good job. You go for it. Do
so
it."
there
Hmm?
was a guy. It was because of your dad that I found out there's a Guyanese wrestler. There was a Guyanese wrestler in WWE. I was looking on the well, FCW used to be WWE's developmental territory, and I saw
Mm.
this guy with a bald head, and he had the beard, and I think he had a cigar. I can't remember. But I'm like, this guy looks like Bad News Brown. I want to see who this guy is. Then lo and
Mm.
behold, he's from Guyana. And I find his name is Ezekiel Jackson. I finally got to meet him like 4 years after I first saw him. Really cool guy.
Cool.
And then of course there is your quote unquote brother, who you and I both know about, Daryl Shaw. That
Mm.
my dad in the '90s versus me now.
I love it. And my dad would be so honored. You don't even know. He never thought he was that like famous or that important or he made any kind of mark. He was always very humble. And I'm like, "Dad, like I get people walking up to me on the street like, 'You're Bad News' daughter, aren't you?' 'I love your dad.'" I'm like, "Okay, cool day." What do you want me to say? I told him
Honestly,
you're like people want to mimic you. You're one of the biggest badasses in the world. Own it.
Honestly speaking, I would if I were in charge of a promotion, if your dad was still alive, I'd actually have him come in and train some of the guys there, like just show them
He's
how to.
trained so many. Do you know he trained a UFC fighter?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I don't remember which one. I'm trying to find him.
Ah,
He wrote me a couple years ago and he's like, you know your dad trained me a long, long time ago. And I'm like, nah, I didn't know that. And then I totally forget who it was now. So whoever that guy is, hi, I'd like to reach out to you. But
sure.
yeah, he said in an interview that my dad trained him. And a bunch of other guys were telling me that my dad was training them for like UFC, and then they have this one in Japan where it's like the UFC, and he
Okay.
trained a bunch of guys over there, judo.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was like, every day I learned something new about this man. Like,
That is that's impressive, man. That's very.
it's really cool. Yeah, so he's been everywhere doing everything, and I mean, so many corners and so many secrets because, he was young back then, so I'm pretty sure he was doing a lot of stuff that nobody knows about. Maybe it'll come out one day.
I remember the one time when your dad had a feud with Jake the Snake Roberts, and he
Mm.
beat up Jake the Snake, and Jake the Snake brings out Damien, and your dad runs away and runs out of the ring. And next week he's like, "Oh yeah, Jake, you want to bring snakes into this? I got something for you." And he has like a big. He's like, "What's
Big
it got?"
rat.
He got sewer rats that can actually peel apart any snake.
That was crazy. You saw the Arsenio, right? The
I
Arsenio
saw that
one? Did you know that Vince
one.
told Arsenio to throw a fake snake at my dad and make him run like a little bitch out of the studio?
Wow, really?
And Arsenio said no. And my mom said no. She's like, "No way you're running from a fake snake." And Arsenio's like, "I wasn't gonna do that to him. That's my brother." He's like, "I got a real one." But my dad wasn't scared of snakes at all. Like he I think he ate one in India once. Like
Wow.
honestly, because he went all over the world eating exotic food. I think he told me once he ate snake, and I'm like, what? And he's like, the only thing they're good for is to be on your boots, because he used to have snakeskin boots,
I remember that.
a lot of them,
That's it.
alligator snakeskin. That man was classy.
So I gotta ask you. So you got kids, right? I don't mean to put your business out there.
No,
But
it's okay. Everybody knows.
so what? Let's say they came and you said, "Mom, we want to do what Granddad did." Would you be like, "Hell no! You're gonna go to college. You're gonna get yourself a career. You're gonna be a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer. You're not going that ring." Or would you be like, "Hell yeah! Hit him with the Ghetto Blaster 2.0, man. Yeah, new generation." What would your reaction be?
If I let my kids wrestle, my dad would find a way to come back to Earth and beat me. So no way. No, he would be so mad. He always told me he wanted them to go to school. He wants them to be, in a good job and a good career without health problems, being beat up all the time. He didn't want them to do that. If they did want to, I mean, I wouldn't say much, but they'd have to go on an adventure on their own. But I've always encouraged them just to, stick to school and career because that's what their grandpa would have wanted. I don't want to get haunted. I'm good.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
wrestling to me, like I said, I'm just a fan, but from what I've heard, it's a big hustle out there, man, and a lot of
Yeah,
people.
my brother wanted to once when he was like 14. And I think my dad took him and was wrestling with him. And then my brother actually had to see like the actual work he put into it. And he's like, nah.
Wow.
He's like, nah, no.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of hard work, man, and
It
sometimes it
is.
does. I've seen many a great independent wrestler not make it, that should make it, not make it, and then they tie.
Yeah. It's a hit or miss, you have to actually have somebody who's got your back and wants to pull you with them. Like my dad pulled a lot of people with him. And he got a lot of people who just adored him and wanted him to come work, so he was lucky. But if you're not lucky, it's a hard road. It's a really, really hard road.
Yeah, it definitely is. I've had some friends that I'm not gonna expose anything because, like I said, I'm that
Oh
kind of fan.
no.
I'm that kind of fan that knows his role. To quote The Rock, knows his role and shuts his mouth. I go to the shows, I
Mhm.
cheer my favorites, I boo the bad guys, and then I
Yeah,
go home. That's it.
as you
Wrestling's
should.
not, wrestling's not meant to be deconstructed. It's not meant for fans to, put
Mm,
up patience. But yeah, I've had friends that have been in the business that said, yeah, it's rough. You got to travel all these
yeah.
miles. Gas prices are crazy, and the payouts. The payoff is not sometimes it's not really that good because
Yeah.
it's not like you're wrestling for this person who has eyes on their company. So it's I always compare it to music. I always compare it to music. Like I was a singer back in high school, and
Mm.
I we tried our best to we would always be singing at every concert that our school had. And I mean, the furthest we went was actually getting to cover a song on national radio. But
Well,
from what we've
that's good though. I mean, look at that. That's cool.
yeah, yeah, but from what we've seen, like it's a crazy hustle, and
It
it,
is.
it's you got to put yourself out there. And wrestling's the same way. Just that wrestling's a bit more um what's the word? I guess for lack of a better term, strenuous.
It was hard on him. He was gone a lot. Like he'd come home especially when he was in Japan, like he was gone for a month. He was gone for like a month. Sometimes he was gone for a month and 2 weeks. He'd come home for a week. He'd, try and be and do and be everything, and then he'd have to be right back on the road. And he told me he's traveled, I think he traveled around the world like twice. He used to have this big map in his room and he would show me all the places. I'm like, "You've been everywhere." And he's like, "Yeah, like twice." So it's a lot. It's a lot. And he never sat still. It's like he had ADHD or something. He loved to be on, like he loved doing his job and getting his money and doing all the shows, and then he loved coming home and just relaxing. So it was a lot for him. It was a lot for us too. Being the family, when your dad's on the road all the time, it's not easy. And then he took my mom, so we had nannies, and we missed both of them so much. And it's a hard life, especially when you're in a fast pace like Japan and Mexico, and the WWE was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, but at least he got to actually travel to those places and experience
Oh
them.
yeah, he barely saw things, but when he went, sometimes he would take like longer between his trips, book different shows. So he got to see quite a bit. He loved to be everywhere. So
That's cool that he got. That's definitely cool that he
yeah,
may not have been WWE champion, but you can definitely say he saw the world and
he
you know
did. He got to experience a lot of things. He said he was in India once, and he did a show, and he came out of the place that they did it, and all the kids were chasing him down the street and like wanting to touch him. He's this great big, black guy in the middle of India in the 80s. Like, come on, where do you see that? But he said, yeah, in South Africa he was so happy there too. He brought a lot of joy. Like his trips, they always made him like, touched his heart in some way or another. So it was good. I'm glad he got to experience it.
yeah. I honestly say this. Your dad's a great wrestler to me, and I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers, but
Go ahead.
he was just in WWE at a time where. So I always said this: Hulkamania was a double-edged sword. On one side of the sword, it was great. It was a cash cow. It brought
Mm.
wrestling to the heights it needed to be and brought it to the mainstream level. But on the other side, it affected a lot of people's careers because I could name you like 10 people that should have been WWE champion during Hulk Hogan's time.
How long was he champion for? A long time, right?
At one time, he was champion for 3 years. He won in '83, and then he didn't lose it until '88.
I remember when he lost it. My dad was at my grandma's house, and all the cousins were there because they loved wrestling. Sorry to cut you off. And my dad knew that night Hulk was going to lose his belt. And he's like, the kids are like, he's gonna get up, he's gonna get up. These are all my cousins. And my dad's sitting in the back and he's like, shit, they're gonna start crying soon. They all started bawling when Hogan didn't get up. My dad was just laughing. He's like, can't believe these Hollywood Hogan. My dad made that up. Hollywood Hogan. Not my dad did. He named him that.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that time. And then the Macho Man got the title, and then you had the Mega Powers and all that. Yeah, but I always said if Hulkamania wasn't a thing, I think your dad would have been one of the champions. I think he definitely would have been, or at least to me, like I just think man, I tell you, I just think
Heels can't be champions. That's what he said. He always used to say that. Heels can't be. And he didn't really care about the belts. He liked that he got to beat up all those prissy little superstars. He loved it. He was like in his element. He kicked everybody's ass. All of them. I'm trying to find the video of him picking up Andre Giant and body slamming him. I can't find that anywhere. So if you come across that, let me know. Because when I saw that, I almost fell off the chair. Like, how'd you pick
wait,
him
was
up?
that when he body slammed Andre? Was that before or after the bus incident? If that was after the
It
bus
was. I
incident,
think it was after. I think it was after because they were okay. But they had a couple matches together, and he did. He picked him up and body slammed him.
he was like body slam breaks. Why you want to sit ever? I got something for you.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he did that. After I saw that, I never was bad again. I promise, I wasn't.
Yeah, but I
Nope.
gotta say, um, your dad was an amazing guy. He was an inspiration, and I just gotta say, if nobody has told y'all before. Um, Thank you. If nobody's told you before, you're gonna hear it from me. And
Oh, thank you.
and if people have told you before, well, I guess you hear it for the millionth time. But on behalf of myself, Rob Bass, Kathy Knight, collectively Ringside Society, we'd like to thank you.
Thank
Thank your dad. Well, thank you for doing this show for us. We're definitely gonna buy that shirt. We're definitely gonna get that shirt out to you from
you.
us.
Definitely.
And thank you. You know, thank you to your dad for giving us all those memorable matches and memories, and inspiring you know many black men to get into professional wrestling, and also inspiring people of other too. I'm pretty sure you had a couple of fans that were like, I'm not, I want to do like Bad News Brown too. I mean, I'm a different ethnicity, but he's doing the judo thing and whatnot. I want to be like him too. So,
I hope
thank
he does. And I appreciate everything, all his fans and all the support and all the love everybody gives. And even wanting to talk to me about him is like, makes me feel so honored. So I appreciate everything everybody does. I just want everybody to know that it's
awesome.
great.
Thank you. So with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. Before we do it, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, all things Bad News Brown purchase, Bad News Brown merchandise?
We have his fan page on Facebook and his group. And you can find me, Francis, and you can go through me, and I have all of the other links. Instagram, his official Bad News Alan/Brown, because we have to do that. Wish we could just scratch the Brown out, but that's a part of his life too, so we'll keep it.
Okay.
But yeah, find me, Francis Coage, on Facebook, and I'll link you up.
Awesome. So y'all heard, definitely follow this young lady. For all things Bad News. Well, follow Bad News Brown. Uh, the social media links. Check them out. They have merchandise available. You see that sweet piece of.
Isn't that cute? We have autographed pictures still that we have that he had in a box in storage, so hit me up for that too if you want one. There's not a lot left.
You heard? Definitely hit her up. And
Yeah.
you're old school '80s wrestling fan. Hey, there's no reason why you shouldn't be following them and getting some fresh and whatnot too. So, uh,
Yes.
with that being said, I know I normally say support the wrestling, but I also say support the legends as well too. These men and women gave their bodies and
Yeah.
their lives to put on a show for us, the fans. And they didn't
Yes,
do it just for the money. They did it because this was their passion, and they enjoyed doing it day in and day out. So support
definitely.
the legends as well. I'm gonna say hashtag
Yes,
legends.
yes.
If you don't support the legends, then she's probably gonna come. I normally say Kathy, co-host Kathy Knight, is gonna come to your house and beat you up, and my other co-host Rob eat your food. But in this case, Francis is just gonna come. The bad woman, she's gonna come and give you a ghetto
Yeah,
blaster.
I'll throw the ghetto black. No, I can't do
Ghetto
that.
blaster.
Anyways, follow away. Thank you. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did too. And with that being said, if y'all want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Twitter at the Remy Blue and also on Instagram at the Remy Blue as well. I'm also on Facebook as Remy Blue, and I'm also on. No, I'm not. That's it. But we also our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitch at Ringside Site 2019. Instagram and Twitter at Ringside Society. We're on Spotify. We also have a Teespring store where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. And we're also on YouTube. Yes, we have a YouTube channel where you can see cool interviews like this. And there will be many more Lariats and Legacies interviews as well. No, not many more, but we're gonna try to get more people on here. But there's gonna be many more
Great.
like so a few more like this. So
You
definitely make
got my
sure.
support. You got my dad's support.
Thanks, appreciate it. So definitely make sure you follow us on YouTube. All y'all gotta do is type in Ringside Society. Once you see that sweet OMG dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you
Mm.
subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in tonight live. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate it. We're very grateful as always. To those of you that are going to listen later on when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself and the Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. But with that being said,
Mhm.
we just want to let everybody know that we are very well aware of everybody and their grandparents and their parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. And we're not just any podcast. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna say it right now. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture. This is gonna be another long one. One time for Stampede Wrestling in the Heart Dungeon. One time for the brother Bad News Brown. We miss
Yay.
you. Thank you very much. You're an inspiration. And one time for his daughter, the bad woman, Francis Coage, with the
Thank
Wrestling
you.
Podcast, Ringside Society. And we'll be back next week with another great episode with another great guest. But until then, we just want y'all to do 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.